Welcome. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to find the foci of hyperbolas. Now remember, hyperbolas kind of look like two parabolas that are open sideways or up and down. We know that this one's opened left and right because the x squared is positive. If the y squared had been the positive minus the x squared, then it would be opened up and down. Since this is open left and right, our foci are going to be to the right and left of our center, a length of c. Now, the way we find c, unlike the ellipse, we actually add the a squared and the b squared together. We add the a squared and the b squared. That gives us 169, and we square root that. And our c length is 13. Square root of 169 is 13. So I'm going to add and subtract that from the center. Now, this doesn't have any horizontal or vertical shift, so our center is 0, 0. And I'm going to add and subtract 13, the length of C, to find those foci. So my foci for this one would be negative 13, 0, and positive 13, 0, because it's to the right and left of the center. In this one, we have a center that's not at the origin, and we know this one's opened up and down because the y squared, or the term that has the y in it that's being squared, is the positive, and we're minus an x squared. So this one's going to be opened up and down. We're first going to find our center, which it has a horizontal shift of 0 and a vertical shift of 10. So our center is 0, 10. That's this point here. And now I need to add and subtract my length c. And remember, we find c by adding these two, not like the ellipse where we subtract. In the hyperbola, we add 36 to 100. 36 to 100 to 136. We square root that, which it reduces to 2 square roots of 34. Notice it asks for radical form. So I'm going to add and subtract 2 square roots of 34. Since I'm going up and down from the center, I'm adding it and subtracting it from the y value. So my foci have x values of 0 and a y value of negative 2, oh, sorry, almost made a mistake, 10 minus 2 square roots of 34 and 10 plus 2 square roots of 34, because I added that c length to and from this y value of 10. All right, let's do one more very quickly. Again, we know that this hyperbola is opened up and down because the y is in front and it's positive. The y squared term is positive. We know the center has a horizontal shift of 1 and a vertical shift of 4. And don't make the simple mistake of minusing these, because if you're just a bunch of ellipses, we would love to do 64 minus 63, which gives me a square root of 1. But I actually add them. 64 plus 63 is 127. Square root 127 is the length of c. And I need to add and subtract that to the y value since I'm opened up and down. So I'm not changing the x. The x will be 1. But then the y value will be 4 minus the square root of 127. That doesn't reduce, by the way. And 4 plus the square root of 127. If you have any questions at all, please do bring them to class. Isn't that what I did? Oh, whoops, I did my center backwards. I did my center completely reversed. Do you notice that? See what I did? I'm taking the time to look at my mistake. It's a vertical shift of 1 and a horizontal shift of 4. I jumped the gun. So again, I should have typed in 4 for my x's and then added and subtracted 127 from the y value of 1. I swapped my center. I swapped the x and the y. Don't make that simple mistake.